Hey there. Well, today I had decided to come out here and visit a graph that I did, a series of graphs. A neighbor up here on the hill uh, cutting a chainsaw. That being said, earlier this year, between the 17th and the 19th of May, I grafted into this tree. Right now we're setting on the 10th of July. So it's been a couple months. And what I'm looking over this, and I want to share with you as I look over it, Japanese beetle. Uh, this is Rigel. The entire tree had been converted. I placed 11 grafts into this tree. And what I did was is I went into what I would like to call leader feeders and grafted into them, and they took off very well. Now, my explanation of leader feeders. What fed the growth of last year? And last year's growth was cut out of there, and I grafted in to to the feeders that was feeding last year's growth. I have a total of 11 grafts in this tree. And right now, what I'm looking at is pretty much every graft took. Now, I did, see, 11 grafts. There were 6 that were tongue and whip, and 4 of them were cleft graft, and 1 bark inlay. Something that I want to talk about is the variety. It's called Rigel. And it's a variety that's unknown to me, unknown to a lot of people. But the one thing that I did notice, I thought the tree that I stopped at right there was a vigorous grower, which it is doing very well, as you can see. And the tree right here is doing well. Those were the 2 trees that I had grafted last year. The exception that I'm finding on this particular graft is normally what happens is the scion wood, the graft takes, and I end up with a stem that comes up just like this did, and I have a success. But in looking at this closer, the leaf is right here. I have vegetated growth here, and there's another stem. And right here, there's another stem that's coming out. And it's like, are you kidding me? Here's another one right here. I have stems growing out of this tree that, my personal opinion, my personal experience, it shouldn't be. Here's another one. This right here is this year's growth, but I got another stem coming out right there. I have to say that's a vigorous grower. And like I said, I thought that mango was a fast grower, which it is growing very great for me right now. Man, this one right here is really taking off. And I've got a flower set there, a flower set there. It took off very well. Now, something that I will share, let's see if I can pull these back a little bit. The very top was a bark inlay. hopefully you're able to see that. But the very top was a bark inlay type graft that I did right here. And I have a stem that came out and it's not growing anymore. And I thought, okay, maybe it will. It leafed, and then the leaf dried out and fell off. And I thought, all right, I'll probably have to come down here and clip. But what ended up happening is it grew a stem, and then the top bud came out. And all right, that's the same thing that had happened with another uh, graft that I did, and last year that is. They woke up this year and they took off. I have another one back here. It's doing the same thing. Just one bud involved. A little stem came up, and that stem is still there. It's still green. It's like it's stalled. And I have one more down here that did the same thing as well. That little scion wood, the bud cracks, the leaf comes out. The next thing you know, that leaf dried out and fell, but that stem from that leaf continued to push out. There are little tiny leaves on there, and it just stalled. It stopped growing. It's just there. And I think, in my personal opinion, what's going on with that is it's collecting energy. A rootstock of this size is able to push energy up into that tree. And as it's pushing energy, what's happening is not only is it collecting the energy into the scion and causing the scion to grow, it's causing more growth within that scion's growth to grow. And that, to me, is exciting. So, there's another one, another one, another one. It's in between the leaves where you would normally find a flower bud. It's another growth coming out, another growth coming out. That tree, in my personal opinion, must like what happened to it. I don't know. But that is something that I wanted to share that I'm seeing with this tree. I've never seen that before. Last year was my first year of grafting. I go as I learn. I share as I learn, or should I say, I learn as I go and share as I learn. That's what I've been doing all along with my page. I'm learning something. I'm learning that, holy cow, I've got a variety that's actually pushing out growth more so than what I am expecting compared to last year. That mango over there is doing very well, but I don't have growth coming out of the fresh growth that come out of that mango. Is there something about this variety that's making it grow like it is? I don't know. I'm confounded with it. Very, very grower. Very, very good grower, that is. Rigel. Good day, Rigel. I do that every day. It's kind of a inside joke for me. But anyhow, something that I wanted to share with you. This is Rigel, a variety. It was a seedling of a unknown variety, and I converted it into a Rigel through top working. I top worked this tree, and I shared the top working with you. I have to say I'm very, very pleased with the outcome of this. It won't be long I have to put a fence around it to protect it from deer rubbing into it. Anyways, my name's Jim. If you like what you see, subscribe. Any comments or questions that you may have, I welcome. You all have a God blessed day.